This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're gonna acknowledge me.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Main Event Review. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode. Lots to get through today. Got the Monday Night Raw segments, as well as the two main event matches that we're going to review right off the bat. And wherever you're tuning in from this, thank you very much for jumping on the podcast and listening to this as well. We're just under 3 weeks away from Crown Jewel, where it's coming to my home country, Australia. In Perth, though, quite far from where I'm from. So, as mentioned before, unable to make it. However, we'll try to do the best to sort of bring out the reviews and also the house show that's coming in on Wednesday, which I'm excited for. So I'll be able to see some WWE superstars as well. So, really looking forward to that. But again, we'll get started with the first match. We'll jump out the bat with Candice LeRae taking on Zelina Vega. So, two superstars who are probably in the mid-card tier, but haven't been getting any TV time as of late. So they've found themselves on Main Event as well. And they're both SmackDown superstars, but they don't seem to get anything on SmackDown at the moment, which is quite crazy, especially given that we do have a United States Championship or champion at the moment in Julia, who's not really getting any opponents. So you look at one side of Raw where the Intercontinental Championship or Women's Intercontinental Championship is doing such a good job, and then you've got the Women's United States Championship that's not even getting defended. And Julia is a big standout in the women's division at the moment, especially when it comes to the mid-card. But it doesn't seem as though that these two are even getting a chance at it. Well, Zelina did have a chance before, but probably not going to get one again anytime soon or be a serious enough contender for her to take the title back. But in this match, we did have Zelina Vega take the victory with a code red. So to me, it sort of just indicates that they're going to continue running with Zelina Vega and giving her the momentum. Candice LeRae doesn't seem to get any victory here or any momentum going forward. I think she will just remain as sort of the manager for DIY. I don't know where they've been, actually. They haven't been on the scene for a while, but Zelina Vega gets the victory. Doesn't really do too much for these two, given that we don't really see them winning a United States Women's Championship, especially with Julia around. And that's kind of, I think, the issue at the moment with those two. They're not really doing much, and it doesn't really help their cause. Hopefully, maybe they put some more TV time for Zelina Vega. But she's been struggling. Like, she's really good on the mic, but I think her size sort of just puts her off, and I think a change of music is much needed. Like, her song is no good. Again, I always say this, it sounds exactly like the SmackDown entrance theme, so it's really hard for people to get into her as well and really like rev up when her music comes out. And even for Candice LeRae, there's just not really much going on for her either. But they're both sort of compelling characters, but not good enough at the moment to really push for anything. So they stay on Main Event. Maybe they'll continue to be featured here. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see for that. And that wraps up the first match. Then it gets sort of projected into Raw. We have Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes pretty much pulling a promo against each other on Raw. So Cody Rhodes makes an appearance on Monday Night Raw. And basically we have the Crown Jewel Championship match between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes for the ring. Seems as though they're continuing the tradition, which is good. It makes the event much better for us in Australia, that it's not just exclusive for Saudi Arabia. But again, the match doesn't really mean much. It's just to determine who the champion or the best champion is. And if Cody Rhodes gets a two-time champion in a row, I'm going to be pretty upset about it, because I think Seth Rollins deserves it, given that his vision and I think the way he's been going with the title and his story has been more compelling. But again, we have Cody in the ring. He's about to ask what they want to talk about. And then Seth Rollins comes in, makes an entrance. He's joined by the Vision, who come to the ring. So it's the first time that they're all together in a while. They've probably split apart. They obviously split apart before. So now they're all together at once. No Becky Lynch, which probably isn't a surprise, but she doesn't walk out with Seth Rollins. We did see her backstage when they opened the show with those sort of like camera angles when they come into the stadium. But basically Rollins comes in, says it's champion against champion. He said that it's bigger and deeper than just their one-on-one. There was CM Punk chants rolling in, and they're basically saying it's not about him. Cody does say that their story is complicated. Rollins also asks the question is, what does obviously Cody Rhodes think of him? And Cody Rhodes mentions that he basically changed his life. Obviously, Seth was basically the Shield at WrestleMania 40, pretty much helped him win the storyline. He was the one that brought him back. So these two actually have a really long history together since Cody Rhodes made his return. You obviously talk about the Hell in a Cell match when he had a tall pec. They had that match, and basically they continue and going on about the fact that Cody is the right person, and Seth does says that Cody says he's the quarterback, but there's no one better suited in the job than Seth. And basically he brings up his watch and says that Cody Rhodes gave him this watch, and pretty much says like that, just mentions his watch and says that it says 40 on it, and that's when Cody gave him the watch at WrestleMania, and this is the first time Seth Rollins actually wore it since. And then he also said that the Vision is an idea of what the future of his industry looks like, and it runs through Seth Rollins too. Cody Rhodes then replies, basically there's a lot of questions, and they basically said the 3 matches they've had, they've all been one-on-one, and every time Cody Rhodes has versed Seth Rollins one-on-one, the score was obviously 3-0 to Cody. So that was the way to sort of close that off, and then Rollins waved off the Vision from not attacking Cody Rhodes and let him walk in safely backstage. So I guess this is one way to hype it up. It obviously talks about their history, talks about the fact that Cody Rhodes has the upper hand on Seth Rollins, but it's basically a match to determine where the direction of the future of the company is going to be. And if you're going to build up stars, if you're going to promote the bronze and set them up for the future, then it would make complete sense for Seth Rollins to win this match. So then that can be propelled and that can be factual. If Cody Rhodes wins it, it's quite selfish victory, because again, as Seth Rollins mentioned in his promo, that he is quite selfish. So again, that's something that it would be really compelling, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that match as well and how they'll go. But I'm wanting Seth Rollins to win the match there. We then have Jey Uso taking on LA Knight. We had some backstage back and forth with Jimmy and Jay, and the match didn't go for too long. We had the Bronson Reed come into the ring where Knight tried to knock him down off the floor, and Jay pretty much hit the spear on Knight based on that distraction and won the match after the Uso splash once he hit the spear. So bit fishy this one, because Bronson Reed came into the ring and so did Bron Breakker. They pretty much helped Jey Uso win the match, and Jey Uso just left, and they obviously went to attack, or LA Knight got attacked by the Vision. Jimmy comes out and Jay leaves. So are they teasing a potential new acquisition in Jey Uso? That's going to be quite interesting if that's the case. It's probably not the case. Jey Uso is obviously fighting demons at the moment, and given how he's gone this year, this is probably the perfect sort of mode he needs to be in right now. He obviously lost his world title. He's lost a few important matches, and yeah, he's struggling at the moment. So this sort of heel tease is good. Whether he turns heel or not, I don't know. But I do really like when Jey Uso's kind of aggressive like this. It kind of reminds me back in the days where he was fighting with Roman Reigns as he was just bossing him around and stuff. So yeah, let's see what happens with Jey. I do like it, but again, I don't know where it's going to go, whether he joins the Vision or whether he just has a straight up heel turn and just changes his character. But whatever happens, it's probably something that they're trying to get a reaction from Jey and the fans, and just really see whether he can be a single star. And I think that's probably the most important thing that happened in this situation, and probably what's going to be important moving forward too. We then get the second main event match. And this was an unbelievable display. It was Akira Tozawa taking on Dragon Lee. A very good match. Like, you had the crowd saying this is awesome. And I wouldn't say it was awesome, but I would say it was a very, very good match. Probably one of the best matches I've seen on main event for a long time in terms of just in-ring chemistry and just some of the movesets and the spots that they had in this match. And the pace of the match was really good. We had, obviously, Dragon Lee, who the right person got the victory for, given that Akira Tozawa is just a joke at the moment in terms of his character, and also the fact that the Alpha Academy aren't really doing much, and Dragon Lee's got that stuff with the Americanos, which they did mention backstage that we obviously have 3 Americanos. It's Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne that are the 2 and 3 Americanos, obviously trying to give them something to do. So we'll see what happens with that one. But yeah, Dragon Lee gets the victory here, the right decision, but I've got to give credit for both guys. They really performed very well for this match, and it definitely hyped the crowd up. This is obviously before Raw, so the crowd would have been really excited looking into this main event. And sometimes main event matches are just great wrestling displays, and that's not a bad thing. And this was one example of that. There isn't obviously much storyline, as we all know, but when we get to see a good match here and there, it's great. And also the opportunity just to see where the characters go from there and where they're pushing. And obviously Dragon Lee is someone that they're trying to build momentum for to take on these Americanos. So yeah, a great display overall. We then had the final match on Raw, which was the main event. Asuka taking on Rhea Ripley. The way the match ended was that basically Asuka told Kairi Sane to attack, and Sane went for a spinning back fist, and then Rhea Ripley caught the attack, and as she caught it, Asuka went to go for a hip attack. Ripley moved out of the way. Asuka hit Kairi Sane off the apron, and that's when Ripley rolled Asuka up for a pin and took the win there. It was a great back and forth match as well. Asuka's just amazing in the ring, so it's just always good to see her in there as well. And I'm really liking her jump to her character and her just hitting this sort of heel run. And yeah, she might be bossing around Kairi too much. I do think that, and Kairi just looks very scared, which I don't really like. But again, Asuka's just doing a really, really good job here, and it obviously leads up to what happens later. We have Asuka misting Rhea Ripley, which is cool, nice surprise. You could see that the blue and green mist went right over Ripley's face and she couldn't see anything. Then we had Sane getting asked to attack, or Asuka telling Sane to attack Rhea Ripley, so she did that. She punched her a few times. That's when Io Sky came into the ring, begged Asuka to stop this, and Asuka acted as if she was sad, and we all knew what happened at this point. Once she hugged Sky, she let go of the hug and then hit a spinning back fist to Io Sky. So Asuka turns on Io Sky. No surprises here. Something that I think is going to be very good for Io Sky, being able to have a feud that's not involving the title, and Rhea Ripley being involved. For me, I think it's going to tee up a potential War Games women's match. You had Nikki Bella being Stephanie Vaquer's lawyer in the backstage, which is like, why you need to do that. Stephanie Vaquer obviously involved as well. Asuka's just having a go at the 4 of them, so it looks as though that they're going to set up War Games. We had Kairi Sane, though, before we wrap up that War Games chat, we had Kairi Sane go to the top and hit an insane elbow on Sky, obviously with Asuka forcing Sane to do that. But yeah, this is the heel turn of Asuka, and it looks as though, yeah, they're setting up War Games. I think this is the one that makes sense, Team Sky versus Team Asuka. They might have a match before that, but I think this leads up to War Games, Women's War Games, where I don't know who's going to join Asuka and Kairi Sane, because it doesn't seem like they have many friends, but we already know the opposite side, that we have Rhea Ripley, we have Nikki Bella, Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, and I reckon they're just going to add AJ Lee in there for the 5th, because it's been a while since she's been in the ring. It makes sense. And then Becky Lynch will make the 3rd member up for Team Asuka. But again, there's no official sort of War Games tease, but you can see that they're slowly building up to that. Even on the other side of the card, the men's match, you've got Paul Heyman teaming up with Brock Lesnar as well. and being his advocate. I think he's going to go into a War Games match with the Vision as well, and you'll see like a crazy stacked babyface lineup with maybe CM Punk, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. You never know, it could be that. But John Cena will definitely make an appearance at War Games, and that's for certain. So, yeah, lots happening. But before that, Crown Jewel is coming across in 2 weeks. And this wraps up the main event review for this week. But next week, we'll obviously go back to another review, and then that will preview Crown Jewel, as these PLEs are really fast approaching, which they always seem to do. And then main events coming up as well. And then obviously War Games, which is what we talked about there. But that's a nice quick main event review for you guys. Once again, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.